Hey everybody, welcome back to the Long Play Review.
Here we go on the move, getting down with a funky groove, right here where we belong, talking about another song. Welcome to the Long Play Review.
So today we're going to talk about the Doobie Brothers Best of Volume 1. And this is a spectacular album. And I've been listening to this thing for probably over 30 years. What'd you think?
I thought it was really good.
It's an excellent album.
I sat down in my studio and I was a little distracted because the grandkids were over,
Yeah.
And my granddaughter didn't like it. She came in the studio a few times and then exited right out. But I enjoyed it. It was really good.
You know, I have so many memories tied into this one. I've been anxious to do a review on this album. So I remember my brother Terry taking me to school sometimes. Sometimes I'd miss the bus and he'd take me to school. And I remember he had bought this cassette of this album. And I just loved it. We're in the morning time and it's, cranking it up on the way to school in the morning. And it was such a good album then. And I just have such fond memories of those moments. And then on our spring break when we went up to Washington to do the Kurt Cobain memorial, we swung by Aberdeen, a record store called Boomtown Records.
Yeah.
And Jeff and I went in there and we started looking at all these old records. And I found this because I didn't own the album. And I found this. I got it for $15 and it's immaculate. It's such good condition, and it's not a reprinted, it's an old copy. And I couldn't have been more happy to have this in my life again as a vinyl record. So anyway, first cut on the album is China Grove.
Yeah, I wrote a few notes here. First of all, great opening riff. And you'll find, I'll say that a lot, this album, they're a riff band.
Full of hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it starts off strong, nice riff, and I love the background vocals on it. I also enjoyed the I described it as kind of an airy guitar tone. The guitar solo was kind of like it was, kind of set back in the mix, but it was kind of airy sounding.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Excellent song. So the second cut is Long Train Runnin'. Long Train Runnin' is cool because it was a jam song for warm-ups for the band when they were warming up for their gig doing sound check. And the lead singer, Tom Johnston, Tom is the one that sings that, and he would just come in with that and he would just jam this out and he would make words up. And they did it for a long time, like, I don't know if it was years, but it was months and months and months at least. And his sound guy came to him, he says, "Man, you got to make that a song." He says, "It's just a warm-up jam tune that we play." He goes, "You need to make that's a hit." And of course, it became a hit. As we know, it's on Greatest Hits. And that's a fun song. That's real catchy to listen to that song.
Yeah. I wrote down in my notes here that it's an amazing vocal.
Yeah.
The vocal's just spectacular.
Yeah.
And I love the harmonica. Mm-hmm. I don't know who's playing it, but it sounds really good.
I can't tell from the picture now because they're all older now. but yeah, one of these guys plays the harmonica, and I'm not sure which one it is.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very skillfully played.
Very
good.
When they came to our town, they played at the fair. It's been probably 10 or 12 years ago. And it wasn't the original lineup, but 3 of the main guys are still in it, and the harmonica player was one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. And it was very good. So awesome. That was a Long Train Runnin'. And then Taking It to the Streets. Now, this is Michael McDonald. This band originally started off in the Bay Area, and Michael McDonald wasn't part of it. And they were. I mean, they almost sounded like a southern rock band, kinda, but they're not from the South. They're from the Bay Area, San Francisco. Right. Well, as they moved on, they ended up getting Michael McDonald in the band, and there was a lot of dislike with the listening community that didn't like they felt Michael McDonald had stolen the Doobie Brothers, because all of a sudden it became a lot more less rock, kind of pop rock, and very commercially sounding. Very commercially sounding.
Right.
And that smooth vocal, "You don't know me," just it's so cool. It's unmistakable. But honestly, I think he was such a huge asset to the band, because it didn't just turn into that only. They still did all their other stuff.
Yeah.
So Michael McDonald and Skunk Baxter, the guitar player, both of them came from Steely Dan. They were both guys that sang and played with Steely Dan. So listen to the music. Great album. What do you got for your notes there? Great song.
Listen to the music. Great opening riff. They're a real riff band,
That's why they're successful.
Yeah.
That's why it hooks
There's
you
a
in.
lot of bands that do that, AC/DC.
Tom Petty.
Yeah, Tom Petty.
He's classic
Just-
with it.
Just really catchy riffs.
And-
Takes off. It's
and
really good.
You listen to them and you're like, this is so simple. Why can't I think of something as easy as this and so good? Yeah. And that was written during a time where there was a lot of, back in the 60s and 70s, when the Kent State shootings and all that kind of stuff. This was kind of a message. Just everybody be nice to each other. Just listen to the music and come together. Let the music bring us together and enjoy each other through the gift of music. And that was a point that they were trying to make when they made this.
Yeah, I noticed in the mix that the bass guitar, every one of these songs have a great bass line in them. And so, but in that song, the acoustic guitars are way out front, and the bass is kind of faintly in the background. I almost feel like it could have been a little louder in the production of it.
Speaking of the acoustics, doesn't this make you want to write music that has a lot more acoustic in it?
Yeah.
Even doubling them up and stuff. I love it. It sounds so good. And like you had mentioned on the harmonica part on the other song, like you said, with Tom Petty, you have an acoustic and a harmonica, and it's just going to sound like that kind of music, And this kind of falls into that. So,
and I think that song has an a cappella tag on it.
The next song does.
Is that the one?
Black Water.
Okay, Blackwater. That's right.
Like to hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the
I
hand.
really like that.
Yeah, very cool. Which is the next song. Yeah, that's a good song. That was written by Pat Simmons. He was in Louisiana. He made the comment that he thinks it's one of the most beautiful cities. Everything's just kind of slowed down. You can get away out by the rivers and all that kind of stuff. And I think they refer to that water as Black Water. And I think that's what the title came from. All right, Rockin' Down the Highway. That's just a roll the windows down and fly down the road song,
Right. See, I thought the verses and the riff, the intro riff, was a little boring, but the chorus hooks you in. Like, the chorus is good enough that you kind of excuse the verse for being a little boring.
I'm put on the spot. I can usually just sing these instantly. I've been listening to it for so long, and I'm losing. I got the chorus, but I can't think of how the verses go on "Rockin' Down the Highway."
Well, see, there you go. Maybe I'm right.
Maybe you're right. I'm gonna vote no. I don't want to offend the Doobie Brothers.
Right.
The next song was written by a youth leader at a church in the 60s. And he recorded it, and it never turned into anything. And then someone else heard the song and redid the song. And it had a little bit of commercial play, but it didn't really go anywhere. I'm guessing during that time it probably didn't have the backing of a big studio to make it sound the way it needed to sound. And then the third people to record the song were the Doobie Brothers. And the song is Jesus Is Just All Right. And then the fourth that recorded it was the Christian rock band DC Talk. And they smashed that thing. It is such a good version of the song. And I'm going to share a little thing here.
Okay.
So So my brother shared this at my father's memorial service a few weeks ago. That we weren't really, Dad was careful about what we brought into the house. I love this story. It's really funny. He would want to listen to the records, and my brother Terry brought this in, and Dad wanted to hear the record. So he was listening to the record, and he didn't care for some of the songs. One of the songs on here is South City Midnight Lady.
Right.
And Terry makes a comment. He says, Dad knew what a South City Midnight Lady was, but he had never seen one or talked to one, or ever he had nothing to do with one. But he knew he didn't like it, and he was kind of disgusted about the concept of the song. But then he put on Jesus Is Just All Right. And he says my dad slapped his hands on his thighs and says, "It's a keeper." And Terry made the comment, as long as Jesus is in the lyrics, we're solid. But, making the point that it's the Doobie Brothers. Dad didn't know what a doobie was. And so, just innocent, is all it is. But it's such a funny story. I'll remember that forever. So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
One thing I thought was cool about the song was it starts out with the lyric, those do-do-do-do-do. Yeah. And then if you listen to it, you realize all that is a guitar riff being sung in the vocals, Yeah. It's just a catchy riff, and it's pretty awesome.
It is. It's pretty neat. Again, another hook that sucks you in,
Hooks you in.
And it's a vocal hook that time.
Yeah.
It Keeps You Running. This is a cool song, Michael McDonald. This is kind of a groove. It keeps you running, yeah, it keeps you running, and he does his soulful, yeah, all that stuff in it, and it's just really a groove. To me, this song kind of gives you a break from the rock, pushing rock. It does to me when I listen to it. You kind of slow down and really enjoy it before it goes into the next two songs, but love the song, great song.
I thought of course, Michael McDonald's voice is just so
cool,
fantastic. But when that song starts out, for me, I thought that the keyboard sounds that he chose, or the voices he chose on the keyboards and stuff, kind of sounded silly, like a little carnival sound.
So you got to remember too that I'm not sure when that song was done, but this compilation album was 1976. So I'm not sure when It Keeps You Running was done. It was probably early 70s. And there probably wasn't a lot of options for sounds on some of those things, like there is now, But yeah, still classic. So classic.
I enjoyed the song.
Yeah.
The song is definitely much cooler than the little silly intro.
Yeah. So South City Midnight Lady, I just mentioned it a second ago, and yeah, the subject matter is kind of weird, but the best part of this song is the really long extended guitar solo that goes to a steel guitar solo, and you can hear a violin in there with the mix. And you hear this down, 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 on the electric guitar, and then the steel in there. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned, was the steel guitar.
Yeah.
Really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Being the highlight of that song.
And what's the foundation of this is in the background, it's an acoustic.
Yeah.
And playing that, and they're doing all this over top of it. That is such a spectacular section of that song.
I also enjoyed the fact that when you add a steel slide to a song, it immediately starts sounding, Western or country Western.
Right.
And this song never does.
No.
It's totally a rock and roll song.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt about it.
No, it's perfect placement.
Yeah.
Then they end with two really rockin' songs. Take Me in Your Arms. Rock me a little while. That's a pretty jammin' song.
It's a great riff on that.
Yeah, good riffs. And then it ends with Without You. And that's probably the hardest song on the album.
I thought Without You was the worst production
Really?
on the album. It was a little noisy and
It's muddy at the end.
muddy, and
Yeah.
I like the song though. On the other song, the number 10,
Take Me in Your Arms.
really sounds like Motown
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of soul in these.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about the Doobie Brothers. You know, especially when they bring Michael McDonald into the mix, there's so much soul in it. Even without him, it's got that, like I said, it's kind of got that southern rock sound, even though it's really not. But a lot of it's just really soulful, you know. And of course, you know, you take a song like Black Water out of Louisiana, it's gonna have a soulful sound to it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so overall, man, I give this 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, the highest you can get. This has been a staple in my life for over 30 years, and it's one of my favorite albums. I think it's a spectacular record. What do you think?
I give it 2 thumbs up. There are a couple of songs on the album that wouldn't hurt my feelings if I've never heard them again. But overall, 2 thumbs.
Excellent.
Way up. Way up.
Again, it's the Doobie Brothers, the Best of Volume 1. Give you a shot of the back here. It shows the band. This album was done in 1976. And just such a good listen. You will not go wrong if you've never heard this. I dare you to listen to it once. You won't be able to. You're going to want to listen to it over and over again. Excellent album. So there we go. So that's it for our review on the Doobie Brothers Best of Volume 1.
If you have any opinions about this album and any opinions about our opinion of this album, go ahead and chime in, leave us a message. So make sure you like and subscribe and ring that bell. And until next time,
Don't forget to push record. See ya. What'd you think of overall? They're just such a...
well, you know, it's a greatest hits album, so like all of their greatest hits are on it. So
Okay.
you can't really lose.
I'm not going to let this... I'm going to cut this out. Let me start over. All right. And we'll just... All right. All right. You're right.